I'd like to call the meeting of the City of Fraser Zoning Board of Appeals, April 2nd, to order. If you'd all please stand and pledge allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And three of you can stay standing.
With three.
Yeah, Mark, Scott, and Frank. All right. Raise your right hands and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
that I will faithfully perform the duties
and I will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of member of the Zoning Board of Appeals
as office of member of the Zoning Board of Appeals
in and for the City of Fraser,
in and for the City of Fraser,
County of Macomb,
County of Macomb,
State of Michigan,
State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you all. Welcome back. Need your signatures on that, and I'll take care of the rest of the other meeting. Okay? Welcome back, folks.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Secretary, you want to do a roll call?
Okay, Member Burley.
Here.
Member Clementi. Member Farina.
Here.
Member Green.
Here.
Member Menendez. Member Stasic.
Here.
Member Wall.
Here.
That is a quorum, sir.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. I'd like to add 8C, introduction of the new city planner to the agenda. Does anybody have a problem with that? I'll hear a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to make the amendment to add the Don Comer to item 8C.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes of March 5th. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
They've already been corrected, but I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes with the corrections presented before us this evening.
Okay, anybody second that, please?
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Statement, formal statement. Petitioners and members of the audience. The Zoning Board of Appeals is herein created as a body of limited powers where there are practical difficulties or unnecessary hardships in the way of carrying out the strict letter of the Fraser Code. The board shall have the powers in passing upon appeals to vary or modify any of the provisions of the code related to the construction, structural changes in equipment, or alterations of buildings or structures, so that the spirit of the code shall be observed, public safety secured, and substantial justice done. No variance in the provisions or requirements of the code shall be authorized by the board unless the board finds an evidence that all of the following facts and conditions exist. A, that there are exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions that apply to the property in question as to the intended use of the property that do not generally apply to other properties in the same zoning district. B, that such variance is necessary for the preservation and enjoyment of a substantial property right similar to that possessed by others. Properties in the same district and in the same vicinity. The possibility of increased financial return shall not of itself be deemed sufficient to warrant a variance. C, that authorizing of such a variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property and will not materially impair the intent and the purpose of the Fraser Code or of the public interest. D, that the condition or situation of the specific piece of property or the intended use of the property for which the variance is sought is not of so general or recurrent a nature as to make reasonably practicable the formulation of a general regulations for such conditions or situations. Having said that, I'd like to welcome everybody here. Old business, we have none. And I forgot to introduce, we have Alyssa, our city attorney, Lauren, our current planner, August Gischlick. I practiced it.
I forgot to give you the phonetic spelling I promised I'd put on a sticky note last
There
time.
you go.
Gitschlag, yes.
That's, okay. I apologize sincerely. So new business of the board is public hearing for ZBA 2602-31217, Evening Side Drive, to obtain a variance from section 32-122 to exceed the maximum permitted lot coverage in the RM district by 3.1%, increasing the limit from 30% to 33.1%. The applicant like to come forward?
Sit.
Sit, please.
Microphone.
All right. Lauren, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair Farina. So this property is located at 31217 Evening Side. This is located in the RM zoning district. I will just note a correction on the review, an apology on the section that was from the last review, so that the variance is from section 32-122-4B, not the 93 and 154. So apologies about that. But the applicant is seeking to add a 360 square foot addition to their home. This would bring the lot coverage from 27.4% to 33.1%, which exceeds the 30% lot coverage maximum in the RM district. So in reviewing against the variance standards, the first one, that there is exceptional or extraordinary circumstances. The applicant notes that this lot is non-conforming, so it is 1,800 square feet under the current lot minimum size. So we do acknowledge that, but our planning comments are that most of the lots in that area in the Venetian Village are the same size as the applicant's, so we don't find this non-conformity to be a unique circumstance. For item B, that the variance is necessary for the preservation and enjoyment of a substantial property right. The applicant notes that they're proposing to add a modest-sized master bedroom for expanding family. All setbacks will be met. The addition does not impair neighbors. Again, we do not find evidence that this grants a substantial property right. We do not find that there are other properties that are exceeding this maximum in the vicinity. Foresee that authorizing such variance will be not to be of substantial detriment to the adjacent property. We don't believe that this will be of detriment to the adjacent property. As the applicant stated, it will meet setbacks, and it is 3.1% over the limit. And finally, that the conditions or situation of the specific piece of property is not so general recurrent in nature. Again, our concern here is that since there are so many non-conforming lots in this district as well as in the vicinity, that it could create a general rule or precedent. So even though we do not find that there will be adverse impacts to the neighbors, we do not find that the other three standards for granting a variance have been met, so therefore our recommendation is denial of the variance.
Are there any questions for the planner? I thought it was 7,800 square feet is the, for RM and not, is this just a typo, 78,000 on the
Oh,
first?
7,800, did I say 1,000 or?
No, it says
70, it says-
1,000 in your report.
Well, there's the comma's in the right place.
Got it. Okay. Anybody have a question? For the record, could you introduce yourself?
So my name is Craig Kaiser. I currently own the property. I have lived there just coming up Good Friday is 15, or actually 16 years, I'm sorry, in the property. And,
Microphone, gotta use a microphone.
oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, can you hear me? Yep. Okay. And so just to be clear on a few aspects of the property and why this was requested. First of all, in this neighborhood, there are basically two lot sizes. There are the 1,000 square foot houses, and then there are the like 13 to 1,400 square foot houses. Mine is in the 1,000 range. Where I originally got the idea for this property is a longtime friend of mine that I went to high school with actually lives on North Wind, which is only about 6 blocks away from my house, and they actually have a very similar addition to this added to their house, as well as when I looked around the neighborhood, there are a number of houses, including one 5-horse houses down that has similar additions. So these 300 to 400 square foot additions on these 1,000 square foot houses are extremely common in my neighborhood, and there's quite a few of them. It's when you're looking at Zillow or other options, they very commonly come up. This is a normal thing that happens to the properties and kind of goes about that. Now, as far as the 7,800 square foot, which is the minimum to go through, there is some impact to that and some shrinkage that was related to the fact that Eisenhower Elementary School is in my backyard. Also in the past, which was I know quite a few years ago, the roads were widened. So these properties were originally designed to be closer to the 7,800 square feet, which is what the appropriate that they're sanctioned for. Unfortunately, over time, for valid, acceptable reasons, they were shrunk to 6,000, or at least mine was, and a few of my neighbors' properties were shrunk to 6,000, which did create that hardship. Obviously, this is a 3.1% that we're talking about in the difference for that, but I did lose some square footage on the property before I owned it as a result of those. Now, as far as the benefit or the why my family is going through this, I mean, there's a number of different reasons to it, but ultimately, I mean, as a family, and for me and my wife, it's a big part of it. Right now, we share a bathroom with our children, and one of the things that's very difficult for my family specifically is my son is autistic, which is a big challenge for us, but it also means he doesn't understand social norms, and so as he grows older, which he's currently 6, him not understanding just walking into the bathroom on you or not being able to hold it appropriately, so he kind of needs to rush into the bathroom, is a very difficult part of the process as he gets older, where we're taking a shower or using our morning daily and he wakes up and then he has to come in and interrupt that. In addition to that, his bedroom is kind of tied into a wall, as you can see. It's the one closest to the bathroom, the smaller room, that does generally wake him up in the morning when we take our showers, which obviously us moving our master bedroom, because we're up first, to an area that would not interfere with that in the morning and would have a little more separation is a big value to him. In addition to this, again, being autistic, something that commonly occurs is called stimming. He will wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning at times and just begin making loud noises and disruptions, which is a challenge for his sister, who shares what is currently on the map called the office, but would actually become the office, but it is her bedroom. And so that does wake her up at times and inconvenience her. Part of this would move her to our bedroom currently, which would create the separation between the bathroom and the bedrooms, which makes it a little easier for her to sleep through the night and not be interrupted by normal behavior, unfortunately, for my son, which is an additional part of that. Obviously, additionally, we did, want to do what my friends had done, because I did it based on theirs in North Wind, which is go directly off the back of my house. But because of laws and changes, even though theirs was allowed to go straight back from the back corner of their house, now we have to go 5 feet to be in compliance. So we let that go in order to shift it over the 2 feet necessary so that we could fit within that compliance to only require 1 variance to make this, obviously easier situation, because 2 variances is a large ask for sure. Then in addition to the necessary effects there, this has some added bonuses. As I know, you guys came out on Tuesday and you witnessed the condition of the power lines. Basically, behind my house, there's like 5 houses that over time the power lines were allowed to overgrow and cause them to shift, which has created an environment where Well, my main power line for my house goes directly to the center of my house and is only about 7 foot 8 inches off of the ground. I can reach up and easily touch it from a standing without any problems. This process would also rectify that situation, which is another really helpful part of the problem, where we would be actually moving it to the back of the house, the new back of the house, and returning it to the appropriate 10 feet to get it far away from my garage. The power line is only about 14 inches off the top of my garage where it's hanging currently. And I've contacted DT about it. They have not done anything. This has been many years. You know, the pole leaning in my direction is what has caused this from the weight of trees. They did remove the trees last year, but obviously the sagging of the pole is still absolutely present and still causes this. And so the reality is this variance is kind of necessary for me to be a resident of Fraser. Without this variance, I am going to be in a situation where, because of the things stated, I'm going to have to look to move. I won't be able to properly utilize my property and continue to live there, which is something disappointing because my son is in the 1st grade currently. Eisenhower Elementary School goes up to the 6th grade. So he has 5 more years. He could still attend that school, and obviously change is difficult for autistic individuals. So it's not something I want to put my family through. This is a more modest thing, and it would create a position where I could live in this house for potentially the rest of my life instead of having to worry about moving in the near future.
Anybody have any questions? Mr. Burley?
Yes, did you ever think about going up?
So I did think about going up substantially because that is always a first concern. There's huge risks with going up. Obviously, a major concern is always with the foundation. Anytime you do that, you are going to see a reshifting in the house. In addition to that, with the layout of my house, the location of the stairs would be a complicated thing to, navigate. We would have to probably eliminate an entire room to negotiate for that and go through that process. And then we would be adding to the top, like I said, with no guarantees of that. In addition to that, it would not be, at that point, it wouldn't be in my best interest to put a master bedroom up there. That would be adding stairs to my house. Because of some medical conditions I have, I would prefer to avoid stairs when possible. Unfortunately, I do have a lot of vertigo spells, and climbing stairs is a risk. So I prefer not to add stairs to my house if that is possible. Obviously, we have a basement, but that is utilized mostly by my children.
Right, okay.
Member Chimenti?
Do you ever think about, you've got it here, do you ever think about knocking it down some from a 14 to 18 foot?
So we originally wanted to do 13 feet and go to the edge of my house. So it was originally only going to be 13 feet, but because of the additional variance that had to change, in order to get a useful dimension out of the bathroom, instead of hanging a 1-foot vanity is what we would have ended up with, and a closet that was significantly smaller than what we already have, so shrinking that. In order to make that work, it was discussed and decided that we would look at the 16 feet just to allow for that functionality purpose to be met. And then in addition to that, like I said previously, I was not concerned about the additional setback because, again, the farther the house goes back, the farther the electrical will be, and the higher up and farther away from my children it will be.
Okay. Anyone else? Member Menendez?
My question is for Lauren. Lauren, do we know how many homes in that area are all at the 60-foot? And was that because at the time, back in the 60s, when those houses were built, they were all just built smaller, period? Not that there was an exception to a few homes, right? I mean, the subdivisions were just built that small back in the 60s, if he's saying his house was built in the 60s.
Sure, I don't have an exact number. I'm not sure the exact number in Venetian Village. I can pull up the GIS if you'd like, but I don't have an exact number on how many lots.
Or how far it goes over Evening Side, what it encompasses.
I can pull it up.
Would anybody know how many times our ordinances have changed since 1960?
I could try to look it up.
I know the last one was in the 19, was it 2000? Hold on.
All people.
96 is in my book.
96 was it was the comprehensive, last one was
Right.
comprehensively.
But I know there was, I'm just curious as to how many changes since that house was built.
Essentially, any of them that aren't on the ends or the weird shapes are 50-foot by 120-foot lots. So even,
So what, those were in the 60s, correct? Give or take?
I don't know, but I can find out in one moment. As soon as I prove I'm a human. I'm so happy it didn't make me do one of the captchas on the spot.
And to note, just so you know, because based on my research, it does seem like the original road was smaller, so the road didn't take up as much space, because obviously for drainage, which has been a constant issue on Evening Side, there has been a little bit of an increase to the size of the road there, which did change the easement at some point.
Geez. So they've been there a long time. Clearly, the building requirements were different.
Yeah, most of the buildings look fairly
Small.
similar. Yeah, and similar in layout.
So you can see a couple additions in the lower part there, just on this screen right now, directly down from my house. There's some add-ons in the back of those houses.
Yeah, but those look like they're in the longer lots, the ones on the southern
Right.
side.
Yeah,
The end ones are bigger lots.
but it is a similar size
Right.
neighborhood,
Right, but they don't have to deal with the ordinance.
right? Because their lot is larger.
Right, right.
Thank you.
I have a kind of a different problem. When you close in that much area, you're going to create a drainage problem that will no longer, your deck is considered permeable. The water goes through it, goes into the ground. You're going to put footings down, you're going to put a roof on it. All that water's got to go someplace. And the way your lot is carved out, leveled out, it's clear that it's going to your neighbor's lot. You remove the tree, which creates a berm, the water goes out that way. If I were to entertain something, you would have to re-level your lot to channel it to the back of the house.
So currently, most of the water does run to the back of the house for every house in my neighborhood, because directly behind us is the school parking lot, which is actually a full, almost foot lower than the rest of us. So anything that does run to the side, because there is a slight portion of my yard that is sloped towards the one neighbor's house, but the vast majority of my water actually moves to the back of my lot towards the school parking lot.
Another 3% going towards your neighbor, because where your downspout's going to be on the end of your addition, right? Dumping right down there where his property line is.
Well, most of obviously the berm that was there that you saw, that is a temporary one that was established last year, and it was originally about 6 feet high. It is settling. Once there's a standard set, obviously that berm is not going to be next to my house, when the extension, because it actually is part of where the house would be. And that creates a high point, which again is still the lowest point is actually next to my garage at the far back corner of it. So if anywhere in my yard that pools water, it is there. I have yet to hear any complaints with my neighbor that I discussed previously with any water issues with their property at any point in the 16 years I've lived in this property. Like I said, our water flows pretty directly into the school or towards the school, which is a very large, shallow, open area that typically does not have flooding. Obviously, there was an incident, I think, over the winter, but in general, does never have had a flooding problem and is drained properly.
Lauren, what if he went that 2 foot? Put it in line with the rest of his house?
So as long as it's not closer to the existing, it's my understanding that that's not increasing the nonconformity.
That's not increasing the nonconformity.
Correct.
Then why would he be required to have another variance?
This wasn't something that I was discussed with.
So based on what we were told by the architect, the now current standard is 5 feet instead of 3 feet. Currently, my house sits 3 feet from the back corner. So obviously, by adding to the 5 feet with the new rules, that brings it 2 feet additionally in, which is why we made that change.
Did you talk about with our building department?
We discussed it with the architect that drew up the plans and did all the work for this, and that was determined by him based on the research and what they were looking at, that being a challenge. Because originally the intent was to go straight back 13 feet from the far corner of my house. And like I said, that change was made necessary because he felt that asking for multiple variants because of the change would be a difficult process and very unlikely.
Did you just hear what she said?
Yeah. So there is no restriction that requires the 5 feet, because that's what.
Well, there is, but this is already an existing non-conforming on the lot. So as long as you don't increase or enlarge the non-conformity, and in this case, the non-conformity is the distance from the side, as long as that's not, the non-conformity is not increased, meaning it's the setback's not decreased, then it's permitted, yes.
I wasn't aware of that. Like I said, I was going off of the research from the individual who, was looking at that, and I don't know if he was aware of the fact that because it's an existing thing, it's no longer considered a variance. So obviously that is, the option that we initially looked at. So it's definitely something that I would willing, to do. Obviously, that would still require, a variance, because we're still going to be over the 30%, with my house being at 27 and some change before that point.
Okay. Anybody else? Well, when we talked, you said that there were several houses in the area with lots your size that had additions on like the one you want to put on.
Well, you guys have said that most of the lots in the area are of my size, but I did state that there are houses that are the 1,300 to 1,400 square foot. As far as like physically surveying their lots and determining if it was 6,000 or 7,800 like it's supposed to. Like I said, there's the two houses that we saw in the picture down at the bottom that have similar type additions to them. And then I found a number of others with a quick Google search where I pulled up a few and had lot numbers, including, like I said, my friend's house on North Wind that has a similar addition to it, which is where the idea came from. I am not, like I said, I didn't measure their yard to determine the exact square footage.
Well, that's what we need. Pictures would have been good with measurements. See, the law is pretty clear. This, and I understand your personal things. This goes with the land, so that if you ever move, if the house outlives you, or you go someplace else, get transferred, whatever, this variance goes with the land, okay? So we can't really do a lot to take into account, you know, how the house is used. We're talking about the structure and how it fits on the property itself. Okay?
Right, but as previously stated, like I said, it didn't sound like we had any concerns about a negative impact on my neighbors besides the water issue that, you know, like I said, I'm not sure that that would occur or not.
Well,
And like I said, if the 13 feet, you know, going to the edge of the house and improves that situation, because like I said, it's going farther over, you know, that's definitely something I'd be interested in going that route. So it's definitely a big part of it. And, you know, drainage is very important. There's no intent to damage my neighbor's property in any way. It's only to make the house, you know, reasonable for my family.
well, that would not put him under the 30%, would it? If he went to the side,
Not unless the dimensions changed from what he's showing.
with the overall dimension,
It would reduce the percentage because it definitely would be slightly less square footage. Because you're talking, I believe, offhand, it's 13 by 24, and then with a small additional addition that's in the little corner area there, which I'm not sure the, you know, looking at the exact, you know, square footage of that, but it would be, you know, less going 13 by the length instead of 16 as far as square footage physically goes. So would reduce that.
so, Lauren, can you do a quick, if he went with the dimensions he said, what would the percentage coverage be?
Well, it looks like the square section is only about 20 square feet, so, right? Am I doing that math wrong? This is why no one asked me to do math on the spot.
312 plus 20 would be
Is it the corner, that's what he's, is this not 4 by 5? Was that the wrong corner?
Well, the scale is 1 inch is 20 feet.
Yeah, on the survey I have in front of me, it's 22.7, but I can tell you when I measured it in reality, it's pretty close to 24 feet from the far corner to where our Davenport area, the small area that's there. So it's pretty close to that. It's just a little bit shy of it, but the survey I have is 22.7 feet to get to that. And then, like I said, there is an additional small, you know, area added on over on the side where the door for the exit is and where ultimately the stairs would be. So that small area, but it would be, like I said, you know, in that area of 23 to 24 feet with the large side, and then with that small additional room that is off to the left side.
Well, if your survey says 22.7, why do you want to go with 24?
I like I said, the survey says 22.7, so if you can go off of that, if that makes your calculation better, because it is the survey. I didn't personally get that, so I was just being honest about when I measured it. I'm not a professional, so I may not have measured it correctly. So, you know, obviously the survey does say 22.7, though.
We're just having a hard time grasping what's changing. But
Yeah, me too,
Can I?
yeah.
You can approach the bench. It's not a judge.
So this corner out 13 feet to here and then come in. And so this section would be changed in that direction. And then this small addition piece that's here, so the three piece that is right here, this would still be an addition. So it'd be that from this corner, you know, the, like I said, it says it's 27 feet.
so you would cut it off like right here or something?
It-
Or
no,
you would
no,
not
no,
extend it?
It would cut out right here, because here's, right here, this corner is the 22.7, that's where it is, 22.7.
So you're just saying it would just go out, not as far?
It would go to, starting at the wall, it comes straight back 13 feet instead of
But this
16.
is at 16,
Yeah,
so it
so
would be
3
3
feet.
feet by that
Yes.
24.
Yeah. So we'd be adding 2 feet this way, but 3 feet less
So I think it's minus 36 feet.
I got 72, but, so I will try to fill in. So I think I can't do the magnifying glass and the pen, but he's saying 13 feet out this way instead of 16 feet, and then it would cut over. Sorry, I can't draw a straight line. And so 3 feet, 3 feet, I'm being asked to do a lot of skills that are not in my skill set. 3 feet here and 24 feet across, so 72 square feet reduction,
Straight across. All the
Yeah,
way
straight across,
down.
straight across, yeah.
contrary to the drawing.
And like I said, technically, the survey does say 22.7 square feet.
If you do minus 72 feet,
So then the addition would be 288.
trying to work with you, but I'd go back and kind of chide your architect for not checking with the city what the requirements are. I'm sure you paid a lot of money for those plans.
Thirty-two point two, give or take.
Not much difference.
I said, don't let the lawyer do the math, so.
And I'm not even trying. Nope.
That's just a guesstimate.
Okay, so we said that the new, if you go to the, you take it directly off the back of the house, we're looking at an addition of like 13 by 23 feet approximately? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 13 by 23, but then additionally, there is that small little section that was added for the doorway. So there is a small section for the
Yeah, I
doorway.
didn't realize that was new.
That's only a few. Right now, it's flush out to the wall, so it's straight across. Here where you can see the white wall that's already there.
Could you do without that little square?
Lauren, don't stress over it.
Oh, sorry.
We'll go with
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
It's not gonna make a difference.
No, I got 32.3. We were,
Well, 2.7, yes.
don't get a chance to exercise math brains much.
And I was off, which is why you never let the attorney.
Especially when they're billing.
I can live in 6-minute increments.
But yeah, that small area isn't important. It more is just helpful as a area for entryway to have like storage for shoes and stuff. Because otherwise, it's basically just the doors in my kitchen.
Someone's on. Oh, Joe's on.
Is it going to be 3 block high?
Is it going to be?
3 block high? Or the floor,
The floor, yes,
3?
yes.
I'm sorry, you are?
I'm Jamie Craig. I am the owner of Renaissance Restorations. I'm the contractor of the project.
Okay.
Anything I have to add would be redundant at this point.
For the record, I need your name and your address.
I'm Jamie Craig, owner of Renaissance Restorations, 1502 West 13 Mile Road, Royal Oak, Michigan.
Thank you. All right. Is there a motion to be had?
Mr. Farina, you do have to open the public hearing.
Okay. Anybody in the public want to be heard?
7:40?
I open the public hearing at 7:40, and I close the public hearing at 7:40 and a half. No one wants to be heard. Thank you for keeping track of me. All right. Anyone? Well, I will make a motion then to approve the variance ZBA 2602 at 31217 Eveningside because of the nature of the size of the lot, the utilities that run a lot through his area, and the fact that the school is behind him, and I do not see that this would, because of those particular things, that this would become so blatant in nature as to be, to allow it to be done all over throughout that neighborhood. I do have a condition that the lot be what's the right term?
Graded?
Regraded to drain directly to the back of the lot. Okay? Now, is there any discussion on that? Yes. Joseph?
Are you going to, when you built this, the addition, are you going to put a riser for the electrical?
Oh, yes.
Are you gonna,
Yeah, I believe that's required, isn't it? I mean, obviously, I want it to be as high as possible, but I believe the code obviously requires it to be, I think we talked about 10 feet into the air. And like I said, the more the better for me, because like I said, it is to the center of my house right now. So it angles directly over my driveway where obviously my children play. So the farther it is away from them, the happier I will be.
Hey, Joseph? Or Roseanne?
I had a quick question for Mr. Logan. Is it currently, when somebody does a new build, that they, on the final grade shot, it has to be a certified grade? Certified grade? It's no longer just they're certified, or they don't have to? It's only commercial, not residential? Okay.
Okay.
So who would inspect that once he's finished to make sure that that has positive drainage from the offset property? Because I agree with Mr. Farina that once you change that footprint, that water is going to, it can only go north, or it can go east, north or east, and to ensure that. Okay, and he would make sure that that drainage is positive.
Bob doesn't have a microphone, so he needs to shout over to Scott or something.
Okay.
Or at least repeat his answer so we can hear.
So the building
official.
department would ensure that it's positive drainage once the footing is in, or the block for the structure?
So you have a motion, is there a second?
I second it.
Melissa, you want to clean it up before we go any further?
I, for once, have nothing to say, Mr. Farina.
Okay. All right. Mr. Clerk, can you do a roll call, please?
Certainly. Burley.
Approve?
Chimenti.
Yes.
Farina.
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Menendez. Stashik.
Yes.
Wall.
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And it's as he submitted the plans, not. Yeah, submitted, not for our discussions.
Right. It says your plans are submitted. We had a lot of discussion there, but it's as your plans are submitted.
Oh, it's as they're submitted?
Yes.
The 5 feet off and 16 feet deep.
All right. Okay, election of officers. Mr. Clerk, you want to lead this?
What we did last night, you were there. Basically, Don said someone makes a nomination for chair, and then I call it out like a bingo if there's any other nominations, and if no one else takes it, then you're chair. If there's someone else, then we start voting on it. And we'll do that for each position.
It's been the same for a few years if you want to shake it up.
Okay, I'd like to nominate Mr. Farina as chair.
I second.
Are there any other nominations? Any other bingos?
I want to
Any other bingos?
Roseanne for chair.
Oh, now what?
I think they both have to accept or not, right?
Yeah, so
I decline. I'm gonna make that easy for you.
I accept.
all right.
Okay, so that was a second for Frank.
Any objections
day.
to Frank for another 8 months here?
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations, Frank.
Okay, I'd like to nominate Mr. Burley for vice chair.
I'll accept.
Are there any other bingos? Any other bingos? Any other bingos? No?
Okay.
Mark it is.
We don't need a second on these, right? You can
Not really, no.
Call them out.
Oh, okay, I thought we did.
Okay.
It's okay. Looks good.
I'd like to nominate Roseanne for treasurer or secretary.
Treasurer, we got money now?
We got money?
Money?
secretary?
No.
I have a question on this.
Treasurer.
If you look at the description on here, what the secretary does, so this is in the book, but like, we never do this, so what are we held to? What I normally do? Just keep doing what I'm normally doing?
Keep calling me every week before the
Okay.
meetings, and
All right. Okay,
it's whatever you want to fix.
I'll accept.
I look forward to it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other nominations for secretary? Okay. Well, that went smooth.
Okay. All right. At this point, first of all, I didn't put this on the agenda, but
Oh, that's right.
I want to heartfully thank Lauren for all of her hard work. It's been fun watching you grow from a little bit timid to strong, very smart planner. So thank you for all your hard work. We're a little town, but as you found out, we are very voicey. So,
When you use the microphones.
yes. And I'd like to ask Dan to come forward. The Queen is dead, long live the King.
Okay.
Still here for like 10 more minutes, please.
And would you introduce yourself to the board, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, Chair Farina and members of the board. My name is Dan Comer. I'm a senior planner with McKenna. I'm really excited about this opportunity to step in and continue the great work that Lauren has been doing and that you all have, as a city have been doing in advancing the master plan that was adopted in 2021 and all the hard work that's gone into the zoning ordinance update. So it's an exciting time to be a planner and coming alongside of y'all here in Fraser. I also want to just take a brief moment to thank the other members of city staff, the building department, and the manager's office for a real warm welcome. Onboarding has gone really smoothly, and I don't anticipate any challenges with the transition between Lauren and I. A little bit about me, I came most recently, I was a city planner with the city of Novi. Have a lot of background and experience in housing, community, and economic development. Really enjoy working with residents, elected officials and appointed officials, and coming alongside of them in a meaningful and thoughtful way. I consider myself an active listener, and really my job is to really support the vision of the communities that I serve. I'm a strong believer that residents are experts in their neighborhoods. They're the folks with the PhDs in understanding the history and the development of the community that they would like to see. So my job is to support that. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chair Farina.
No, if you can ask Lauren, we're very serious about planners going out to visit the sites and not just doing it off Google.
Oh, well, to say that last night, was my first introduction to, the community coming out really strongly for the Planning Commission meeting. We had a great turnout. I was here for that to observe how that discussion and conversation went. Many of you, I think, are probably aware at this point that there's a special meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals scheduled for April 14th. And I went out and visited that site on Mulvey yesterday in between the office hours that I had here at the city and the Planning Commission meeting, and got a look at that road and the conditions of the adjacent properties and the conditions on site there as well. I'm a firm believer, again, also that you can't just plan from an office. So I really enjoy the out of doors. I like getting outside. I like, getting my hands dirty, so to speak. I don't just look at things from Google or from a GIS layer. I don't think you can get all the context that you need to make informed recommendations, doing solely that. And finally, kind of wrap, I have a lot to learn about the city of Fraser. I can tell already that it's a very passionate community on issues affecting its growth and its future and its development. Just anecdotally, though, a quick story about my background. I grew up on the east side of Detroit, and my aunt lived out at 17 in Van Dyke. So every Sunday after church, we took a drive to her house, which always involved getting off 94 at Masonic to Utica Road, up the Plum Brook. And so I'm very familiar with that passage, from being an 80s kid to kind of see the sort of growth and the transformation of Utica of Utica Road and the adjacent places, including Fraser along the way. So I'm excited to step in and contribute, and I'm happy to answer any questions or concerns you may have at this time. Otherwise, I'm really looking forward to working with you.
Great.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Lauren, monthly report, anything? None?
Nothing that you won't cover in the liaison report. But it is a reminder that you do have a special meeting on Tuesday, April 14th, and then you can replace my name with Dan's at that point.
No, we'll never. Anyway, okay. Planning liaison, last night we held the public hearing for the new zoning ordinance. We had about 50 people here. 15 people wanted to speak or did speak?
I had about 36 people here. We had 15 people speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we took some items back, and we're going to look at them in the Planning Commission and take into account what they had to say and take a second look at it before we go forward with it. And look forward to doing that. All right, any questions for me about that? Okay. Public to be heard. Anyone public to be heard? You're awfully loud back there, Kathy. All right. Bob, we'll start with you.
Just to get on from last night, as of today, nobody came in with anything. We had one person come in, Mr. Embler, and he got some paperwork for the new zoning maps, things like that, and the changes. Other than that, we didn't get anybody from anything for last night. And I do want to say that St. Malachi's last fish fry is this Friday.
That's awesome.
Channel 7 did say that we did have the best fish fry.
I'll be looking for you to wash dishes there Friday night.
He bribed you with.
They do.
Yes.
All set.
You're all set?
All set.
Green?
Nothing?
Early?
I wanted to thank Lauren, too, also. I'm sure we'll be in competent hands, but we'll also miss you. I've always appreciated you taking the time to address questions, never rushing people through, taking the time to go back, get the answers we need, do the research. And I can only imagine the hours and hours of time that you spent compiling what you did. because just for us to have to read it and not to have to, to compile, I really, really do appreciate everything you've done, and thank you so much. It's a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
Nothing from me.
I want to say the same thing. We're going to miss you here. We are going to miss you. So, I'm sorry that my computer wasn't working. I didn't get back with you in time about everything. There was a little confusion on that, but I appreciate your understanding
No
on
worries.
that.
No worries.
One other thing, how is the situation on the old Dairy Queen? That's getting really looking bad.
Bob?
Any, I mean, can we board it up or something? Would,
The owner of Dairy Queen did come in about a week and a half ago. He did turn an application for a demo permit. He was not issued a demo permit because he did not pay for one. Then he did leave without paying for it. And then one of the building clerks was playing email with him back and forth. And he was asking some questions about putting a roof on it and just turn it into a white box.
oh, what?
What is that?
Just gutting the inside out and just having the 4 walls up. Ready,
Oh, my God.
ready to have a tenant move in there. So if it was just like a phone store, then they would have to put the interior walls up, things like that.
Was that part of the court action, though? Wasn't he required? I mean, was that?
Yeah, so the court case, I don't really think that's something that I can discuss at the moment.
Because it's ongoing.
So I don't know all of the specific details, but I don't really have anything to share publicly.
Okay.
The owner of the property to the north of it did reach out and talk to me today, and said that Mr. Fiore did reach out to him yesterday and asked him if he wanted to buy it.
Ooh.
He declined it.
The parking. Situation is terrible.
Alrighty. Mr. Kitchlick.
That was close. I mean, I wrote it phonetically for you. You could pass that down to him?
You're not gonna let that go, are you?
Why would I?
It's-
All I have is St. Malachi's Fresh Fish Fry is this Friday, and it is Channel 7 rated it the best fish fry in town. So,
Awesome.
but have a great Easter, and nobody leave before you see me. I have your Easter gifts for you before you leave.
Thank you.
They bribe you too?
No, I'm bribing you.
Lauren?
They're 2 weeks prior.
I don't eat their fish.
I don't have any bribes, but I did want to also say thank you. I have really enjoyed, the past maybe almost 3-ish years here. I've learned a lot, grown a lot, appreciated working with everybody. And I will also miss seeing everyone and working together. So be nice to Dan, and thank you again for everything.
Thank you.
Melissa?
I just want to echo what everyone said this evening. It's been a pleasure working with Laura in the past couple years, and we will definitely miss her. So.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn. By the way, for the record, he was kidding when he said he has a bribe.
I think when you said the fish fry, that kind of cut him off.
August.
They open at 3 o'clock
Who do you
tomorrow
have
too.
down for the?